Long Island medium Theresa Caputo finally realizes that her ex-husband, Larry Caputo, only betrayed her for his wealth. At first, Theresa thought that Larry really loved her back and wanted to start a new relationship. But she gradually realized that Larry's motives were completely selfish. In the end, Larry himself admitted that he only wanted Theresa back in his life because of her property. Such a betrayal from the person she had trusted so long as a loved one. This was a truly sad and heartbreaking truth for Theresa. Theresa Caputo had always believed in the power of connection, not just with the spirits of the departed, but with the people she loved in life. So when Larry, her ex-husband, reappeared, claiming he had realized his mistakes and wanted to rekindle their bond, a small part of her heart hoped it was true. At first, everything seemed genuine. Larry was charming, reminiscent of the man she had once fallen in love with. He spoke about regrets, about missing their life together, and how time had made him realize that love was more important than anything else. He even seemed supportive of her work, something he had often criticized in the past. But as weeks passed, Theresa began to notice the cracks in his sincerity. His interest in her success seemed to outweigh his interest in her as a person. He frequently brought up financial matters, her properties, her business, and investments. It wasn't long before she overheard a phone call that confirmed her worst fear. She still has everything, her house, her show, the money. If I play my cards right, I could be back in control, Larry's voice whispered through the phone. Theresa felt her heart shatter. All this time, she had hoped that maybe love could heal what was broken, but now she realized Larry wasn't back for her. He was back for her wealth, her status, and the security she had built on her own. When she confronted him, he didn't even bother denying it. "I thought you were a psychic," he scoffed. "You should have seen this coming." Tears welled in her eyes, but she refused to let them fall. "I see clearly now, Larry," she said, her voice steady. "You lost me once, but this time, it's forever." And with that, she walked away, not just from Larry, but from the illusion of love she had held onto for too long. However, Theresa Caputo adjusted the microphone and took a deep breath. The holiday season was always special, but tonight's Christmas charity reading held extra meaning. Among the audience was a veteran named Jack Peterson, a man with tired eyes and a heavy heart. He sat quietly, gripping the dog tags hanging around his neck. As Theresa closed her eyes, she felt a presence almost immediately, a warmth, a gentle nudge from the other side. "There's a woman stepping forward," she said, scanning the crowd. "She's beautiful, full of love, and she's telling me she's been waiting for this moment." Jack's breath caught in his throat, his hands trembled. "She's saying, Jack, my love, I've never left your side." Tears welled in his eyes. "Sarah," he whispered. Theresa smiled softly. "She says yes. She's showing me Christmas lights, your favorite time of year, together." Jack nodded. "We always decorated the house together. She loved Christmas." "She's showing me an ornament, a red one with a ribbon." Jack let out a broken chuckle. "It was our first Christmas together as a married couple. We wrote our names on it." Theresa's eyes glistened. "She says she still watches over you every Christmas. She sees you holding her picture, talking to her. She hears you, Jack." He buried his face in his hands, overwhelmed. "I miss her so much." "She knows, but she wants you to find joy again. She says, it's okay to be happy, Jack. I want that for you." Silence filled the room except for quiet sniffles. Theresa touched her heart. "Sarah's love for you is endless. She's always with you." Jack took a deep breath, gripping the dog tags one last time before slipping them into his pocket. For the first time in years, the weight on his chest felt a little lighter. Christmas would never be the same, but tonight, Jack knew, Sarah was still with him. However, the three Russo siblings, Emily, Jake, and Olivia, sat nervously in a cozy parlor, the scent of lavender candles filling the air. Across from them sat Theresa Caputo, the famous Long Island medium, her signature blonde hair framing her face as she offered them a reassuring smile. "I know this is emotional for you," Theresa said gently, "but your mother is here, and she has a lot to say." Tears welled up in Emily's eyes. Their mother, Margaret Russo, had passed away a year ago after a sudden illness. Since then, the siblings had struggled with grief, each coping in their own way. Theresa closed her eyes, tilting her head slightly. "She's showing me a pearl necklace. Does that mean something to any of you?" Olivia gasped, clutching the small pendant around her neck. "Mom's favorite necklace. She gave it to me before she passed. She said it would protect me." Theresa smiled. "She wants you to know she's still protecting you. And Jake, she's saying you need to stop blaming yourself. She says, it wasn't your fault, honey." Jake's face paled. He had been the one driving the night their mother had fallen ill. Though the doctors assured him that nothing he did could have changed the outcome, guilt had consumed him. "She says she loves you and that you have to let go of the guilt," Theresa continued. "She wants you to live your life fully, the way she would have wanted." Jake exhaled shakily, as if a weight had been lifted off his chest. Theresa turned to Emily. "And you," she says, "my little bookworm, stop hiding in your books and go live your story." Emily covered her mouth in shock. She had been isolating herself, burying her pain in novels instead of facing the world. "She says she's proud of all of you," Theresa added. "She sees every little moment. Jake fixing the old radio, Olivia singing in the car, Emily reading late at night. She's always with you." Tears down their faces, but for the first time in a long while, they felt peace. As they left the session, the siblings walked out into the cool autumn air, feeling lighter, knowing their mother's love was still with them. From beyond, Margaret Russo watched them with a smile, her spirit forever by their side. However, it was a bright Saturday afternoon, and the Caputo family was enjoying their usual weekend routine, shopping and spending quality time together. Theresa Caputo, the famous Long Island medium, loved these moments with her loved ones. But, as always, the spirit world had its own plans. As they strolled through a local boutique, Theresa suddenly stopped in the middle of an aisle, her expression changing. She felt a familiar tingling sensation, the unmistakable sign that a spirit was trying to communicate. "Ma, what's wrong?" her daughter Victoria asked, noticing her mother's distant gaze. Theresa took a deep breath. "I need to say something." She turned to a woman browsing scarves nearby. The woman, in her late 40s, looked up in surprise. "Excuse me, sweetheart," Theresa said gently, "but do you have a brother who passed away?" The woman's eyes widened. "Yes, my brother Michael. He passed 2 years ago." Theresa nodded. "He's here. He wants you to know he's okay. He says he misses your baking, especially your famous banana bread." Tears welled up in the woman's eyes. "Oh my God, Michael loved my banana bread. I haven't baked it since he passed." Theresa smiled warmly. "He wants you to bake it again. He says the smell of it in your kitchen will remind you he's always with you." The woman let out a shaky laugh, tears streaming down her face. "Thank you, this means so much." As the moment passed, Theresa's daughter shook her head with a grin. "Ma, you can't even shop without giving a reading." Theresa laughed. "Hey, spirit doesn't wait for the right moment. It finds its own." With that, they continued their shopping, but the air was lighter now, as if love itself had filled the space between them. However, Mark and Lisa had never believed in psychics. After losing their daughter, Emily, in a tragic accident 2 years ago, they had shut themselves off from anything that seemed like false hope. But when Lisa's sister booked them an appointment with Theresa Caputo, the famous Long Island medium, they reluctantly agreed, if only to prove it was nonsense. As they sat in Theresa's cozy reading room, Mark crossed his arms while Lisa nervously fidgeted with her wedding ring. Theresa smiled warmly and closed her eyes for a moment. "There's a young girl here," she said softly. "She has blonde hair, dimples when she smiles. She's saying, 'Mom, Dad, I'm okay.'" Lisa gasped, covering her mouth. Emily had always flashed her dimples when she laughed. Mark clenched his fists. This was a trick, right? Theresa continued, she's showing me a stuffed bunny. The one with the pink ribbon. Tears welled up in Lisa's eyes. That was her favorite toy, she whispered. She never went to bed without it. Mark's skepticism wavered, but he remained silent. She's also talking about dancing, Theresa added. She says, Daddy, I still dance with you. Mark's breath hitched. Every evening, he had danced with Emily in their living room, spinning her around until she giggled uncontrollably. How could Theresa know that? Lisa clutched Mark's hand, tears streaming down her face. Is she happy? She asked in a trembling voice. Theresa smiled gently. She's at peace. She wants you both to stop feeling guilty. She knows how much you miss her, but she's always with you. Especially when you hear that song. What is it? Somewhere Over the Rainbow. Lisa let out a sob. That had been Emily's favorite lullaby. Mark finally spoke, his voice breaking. Tell her we love her. She knows, Theresa said, her own eyes glistening. And she loves you both even more. As they left the session, Mark and Lisa felt something they hadn't in a long time, comfort. Maybe, just maybe, their little girl was still watching over them. However, I never believed in psychics. Ghosts, spirits, messages from the beyond, none of it made sense to me. That is, until the day I met Theresa Caputo. It all started when my mom, an avid fan of Long Island Medium, insisted we attend one of Theresa's live shows. Just for fun, she said. Who knows? Maybe someone will come through for us. I rolled my eyes but agreed. My dad, Larry, had passed away 2 years ago, and though I missed him terribly, I never thought a psychic could connect with him. The venue was packed. Theresa walked onto the stage, her signature blonde hair teased high, her nails perfectly manicured. She started scanning the audience, her eyes darting from person to person. Then, suddenly, she pointed straight at me. You, sweetheart. The young man in the blue sweater, she said. My heart skipped a beat. Your dad's been nagging me this whole time. He says you don't believe in this stuff, but he's about to prove you wrong. I froze. My mom squeezed my hand, her eyes wide with shock. Theresa continued, he's showing me something about fishing, a special spot you used to go to. My breath caught in my throat. My dad and I had a secret fishing spot by the lake near our old house. No one else knew about it. Larry says he's proud of you, she added softly, and he knows you still wear his old watch. I instinctively touched my wrist. My father's watch, his favorite, scratched up but still working, never left my arm. Tears welled up in my eyes. At that moment, I didn't care if it was real or not. It felt real. It felt like my dad was there, telling me everything I had always wanted to hear. As we left the show, my mom asked, So, do you believe now? I took a deep breath and smiled. I don't know how she did it, but yeah, I think I do. Hello lovely viewers, welcome to my channel. I am Mina. Hope your day is so well. If you like the video, don't forget to subscribe.